Well, gone people, I know that it has been a minute since we have been around here, but here we are. And it's just a bit different from what you guys have expected. Know that you always expect some football, some track and field, and all of those stuff, and it comes on to basketball, and that you guys always see the face of one, the voice, as he calls himself. But I'm here to you guys tonight, man, and welcome to another show, man. And I can promise you guys that I'll be back here Friday as well to do a football podcast as well, so you can look forward to that. But tonight's all about basketball, man. The playoffs is hot, it's heated, and Rome is going to get heated because the lone warrior man against two Lakers fan already, and I can expect to see another Laker fan show up. So, as a matter of fact, he's here as well. So, it's going to be a hot night, man. One Warriors man against three Laker fan. It's not gonna be nice, man. But without further ado, man, who I call the all-rounder, the teacher himself, Devin. Welcome, man.
Bless up, bless up.
How is everything with your boss?
Good, good, good. You know, big up all the Laker fans, whether they are Branites or they're original Laker fan. Big them up still.
All right, and for the first time on the show, one that Devin knows for quite a while now, making his debut on the show. Welcome, Greg. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Welcome, man. Welcome, man. And the man who has controversial views, a Branite, a man that moves wherever Lebron goes to. Of course, talking about Kim. So, welcome, bro.
What's going on, man? What's going on,
Yeah,
man?
man. How are you doing?
Voice himself, man.
Huh?
Voice himself, the real big man.
All right.
Yeah, man. Even though you're older than I am, I would like to be like you, you know? Can I use the term when I grew up, I want to be like you? But I'm older than you are.
All right, so playoff is hot right now, man. Hot, and a lot of things has happened that a lot of people never expect. For example, Nuggets being 2-zip up, but never really expect that. Well, some did. But first off, what I'm going to start with, Embiid finally getting regular season MVP. What are your thoughts on that, and what does it deserve? Or you think was there anyone else in the running that you think that could have gotten it? Any one of you guys can take it on.
Can make Greg talk, man. Yeah, great views.
So with him, I'm not surprised that he got it just because you can make the argument that he should have won it since last year. And there's been a lot of talk about how, I guess you can say whether if it's the analysts or former NBA players talking about if they let Joker win it, it's going to look like a race issue and everything like that. So, because I don't know, I forget who. I don't know if it was like Matt Barnes or somebody like that, but they put that out in the air. So, because you can make the argument that Joker could have won it for again this year, and that would have been 3 straight. But not to take away anything from Embiid, but because they put that out there, I felt like it was automatic that he was going to win it.
So,
All right,
all
fair.
right.
Listen, chime in.
No, so like with that, I think Perkins was the first one. Sam Perkins was the first one that alluded to it, and then Jay was naturally dismiss it with the race card. But like for that, you know me, I see black and white a lot, but like for that, I didn't put the race card at all in that. I think his basketball stats and his play in the regular season is enough for him over the last 2 years to get. And even with Doc's statement, his coach saying it was a performance that he basically single-handed carried the team to a win. I don't remember which game it was. And Doc came out and said, yes, you know, he has to be the MVP. So when your coach is doing them thing and other people doing them thing, that all contribute to it. It's a balance, but I still say that, you know, his work on the court substantiates such award.
So what I'll say, right? As it relates to Greg's point, I believe, just to provide some context, what was being said was that Caucasian players, white players, are not held to the same standard as black players, right? So if they, so say for example, uh, Embiid win MVP now, but get knocked out in the first round, they're going to give him hell and powders, as we like to say in Jamaica. However, if Joker do it, it just slide under the rug and let's come back again next season. So I think that's where the whole race thing started. As it relates to Lebron question, obviously Embiid is one of my favorite players in the league. I thought that he should have won MVP last year, but you know how it go. I really don't know how they judge the MVP award anymore because again, most valuable player. When I'm looking at value, how valuable you are to your team, and what would the team be without you? Well, we can argue Giannis, we can argue Denver, we can argue Philly, right? And we can depends on how we want to use that metric to determine who is more valuable. But all I can say is that every time I see Embiid go up against Joker, he's beating left, right, and center for Joker. Joker can guard him, right? And I think what Joker has over Embiid, I mean, obviously he can shoot better and I think he can pass better. But I think head to head, I think Embiid can stop Joker more times than how Joker can stop Embiid. And I think that is what really won Embiid the MVP. I think that's where it started when they played against Denver in Denver, and I think Embiid had like 40 and 15 or something along those lines. I don't remember the exact numbers. That is when the media started to say, Joel Embiid, and then Joker got hurt, and then they started losing a bunch of games, and then Philly started winning a bunch of games with Joel performing. And that game that you were talking about, Devin,
Yeah.
it was a game where I think with both points and assists, I think Embiid contributed for three-quarter of Philly points.
Right. Right.
Yeah, and then he went ahead and said that. So I definitely think it was well deserved. Again, every single year there's going to be one or two persons who can win it. I think if you were going on how the NBA normally does it, I think you could have said Giannis could have won it as well because his team was number one, and he was extremely dominant. But Embiid, he won the scoring title again. He had 10.3 rebounds, 33 points. I mean, it's really hard to argue against that. I just think the guy deserves it. So I don't really have much qualms to say about it.
All right, fair enough. Now, you look at the series that are going on right now, and for example, Nuggets against Suns. I mean, we should have had this show from last week because
Uh-huh.
I wanted to have done it before the season actually, well, the playoffs had started in terms of the semi conference, but
Uh-huh.
never happened. But already started. I realized that Nuggets is already 2-zip up. But my $1 million question to both you guys, well, all three of you, is that I heard this discussion going around that a lot of people thinks that Kevin Durant is not a leader. He is not a man that can lead a team to the promised land. He's more a man that can play a part on a team that is basically already constructed. What are your takes on that?
Well, I disagree with that. Listen, Kevin Durant is one of the greatest basketball players who ever touched a basketball, right? So I don't know if it's probably the way how you structure it, but to say he just plays a part, I don't think so. What I think though, and Kevin Durant have said that as well. He just wants to play basketball. He just wants to hoop. All that leadership stuff, he doesn't want to do that, right? And I think he wants to lead with his basketball play more than his actions, more than his words and stuff. So, for example, LeBron is more a vocal kind of leader, right? So LeBron will galvanize the troops and they will come and they will talk and they will send him texts 2 o'clock in the morning and stuff like that. LeBron is more like that, right? Draymond Green for the Warriors is one of them leaders as well. Very vocal, very up in your face, them kind of thing. KD don't want to do that kind of stuff. KD just want to focus on his basketball, just play his basketball and win. Hence why when he joined the Warriors, it was the best thing for him. Because guess what? Steph Curry is a leader, but he's not as vocal as Draymond is, but he is a leader. So when Steph talks, people listen. So when KD joined that team now, all KD has to do is play basketball. You don't have to talk to nobody. You don't have to try and motivate nobody. You don't have to try and make anybody feel like say, hey, follow me or anything. He just goes play basketball, hoop, win. No. If you look on the teams that KD don't really work with, no, let's look on the Nets. Right? And again, we can talk about the Nets and we can talk about all the injuries that they had. But again, when they wanted somebody to step up, for example, and I'll draw a quick parallel. When Kyrie wanted to leave Cleveland, right? What did LeBron? LeBron come on, LeBron say, yo, don't trade him. Make him go and make up a bunch of noise. Don't trade him. Obviously, the Cavs never listened. They traded him, and the rest was history. When James Harden wanted to be traded out of Brooklyn, KD, not one word KD said. KD said, well, and I'm paraphrasing, every man of them own big man. Everybody do what they want to do. When Kyrie asked to be traded, what KD said? Zoop. Everybody of them own big man. When Ben Simmons came over to the Nets, and they were talking about, hey, how do you like Ben Simmons? KD was like, well, we'll try and, great play, we'll try and plug him in. So again, he doesn't have that leadership quality that you would look for from a great basketball player. A player as great as him, you kind of want him to be more influential. But as he alluded to himself, he just wants to play basketball. But I don't think he's a plug and play guy. I don't think he's a great player, but you just don't want that leadership role. You don't want all that pressure to be a leader and play basketball. And that's why I can't have him, on my Mount Rushmore. That's why I can't have him over LeBron and all those kind of things. Because again, when I'm looking at a basketball, I'm looking at the totality. So that's my point.
All right, and before I get the views of Devin and Greg, big up the people in the comment section. Say Fabi Fan, Fresh God, Rash Cadillac, Kish, Robbie, Dale Francis, Demo, Let's receive. And here's Fabi Fan saying that breaking Dylan Brooks request to sign for the Lakers.
Garbage.
No, they just be yeah, big up friend over there. Man, I feel sometimes. I ask them.
But Greg, you can go ahead and chime in on the KD argument.
So I agree with with the voice. I'm sorry, I forgot your name when you first came in. So, but I agree in the sense that because with KD, because even then too, I can see why he gets the backlash that he gets because when you think about it, that's why um, he went to Golden State because if he really wanted to be a leader, he would have stayed his behind in OKC and tried to make it work with Russell Westbrook, Serge Ibaka, and everything like that. So the thing with KD, it's like certain people just fit into that role, or certain people just know how to be a leader. Because even with last year, there was no reason they should have got swept by Boston, and that's why with that I put most of it on him because obviously yes, they were undermanned. Yes, uh, Kyrie was out, but in the sense, it was just that for him, if you're going to be a leader, you're not going to be bounced out like that. So with him, that whole trying to go out and just play basketball, yes, it's good, but in the sense where when how you can say when shit hits the fan, you gotta be able to let your teammates know that you can at least how can I say you can at least will them or that way they can back you up into what you want them to do. So for example, so right now you see with Chris Paul is out for the next 3 games. So he's technically the leader of that team. But now with no Chris Paul, KD should be the one to level up and say, all right, guys, you know what? We down 0-2, but I'm going to put this team on my back so we can at least even the series. So by that time, when Chris Paul is able to come back, we still have a best chance to go out and at least win the series. But we know with KD, he's not going to do that. So with him, he's just like, look, I don't want the pressure of being the leader, as what the boy said, because if I take that position, he's going to get majority of the blame. And with him, he's a very sensitive guy. Whenever people say something about him, he always claps back, whether if it's on social media, and whatnot, because you still see him clapping back at Charles Barkley and whatnot. With him, he just wants to just play basketball and then just go home at the end of the day. But I feel like with him, he just doesn't have that motivation in the sense where I can at least have people follow me so I can, because if it falls on me, he doesn't want to get that same type of how can I say, he doesn't want to get that same type of blame as like a LeBron would get if he were to fall short into the playoffs.
Okay,
All right.
Devin, I have a
Yeah.
different question for you now. So, you look at how both teams are currently constituted. That's the Nuggets and the Suns. Um, which one do you think has more quality? And do you think that the two zip that Phoenix is under is a fair reflection of both teams?
Oh, definitely, definitely. Because they want to talk about KD's the leader, and if the narrative is that he can enhance his legacy by winning something in Phoenix, because everybody's saying, oh, it was a wimp move to go to GSW with a team that was like the best record in regular season, right? So when I look at that now, he's there, but we have to look at it that they traded away a lot of their pieces. You get what I'm saying? That guy that they sent to Cam and the other guy to Brooklyn, those guys were good.
Hold on, Devin.
Yeah.
Hold on. So, look, we talk about that a little bit because that really annoys me when people say they trade away a lot of their pieces. They trade away 2 players, bro. Like literally 2 players.
Yeah, all right. 2 pieces, 2 good defensive pieces.
Bro.
Wait. Two
Cam Johnson is a bench player. He comes off the bench.
And
Mikal Bridges
could be the composition of the team why he comes off the bench. It's not because he's a scrub why he comes off the bench.
No, he's not
good
enough.
Look at their play in Brooklyn now. They don't look like no scrub.
But Devin, stick up in Devin and think.
Look at his numbers.
I think Kim's might allude to this. All right, Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges, right?
Right.
He said that these guys are just playing right now, so they're playing with freedom, not much expectation. So the weight is off their shoulders. Versus at Phoenix now, they know that continuously they're going to have to be in playoffs and all of those stuff. Now at Brooklyn's basically rebuilding, so there's no pressure.
Not only that, Lebron,
but the uncontrollable factors are you don't know. All right, you're saying but you don't know if it is the case that he was in Phoenix. What his performance was, we can make an assumption, right? Suppose he got a starting role in Phoenix and he was doing good, right? You don't know if he was going to be that same player in Phoenix. You don't see enough of him in Phoenix. You don't see enough of him in Phoenix that if he was starting,
Devin, what I'm saying, hold on, Devin. What I'm saying, right, is that, and you know this, boss. If you are on a championship team, right, so there's going to be levels to it. So you have Devin Booker, the superstar. You have Chris Paul, the superstar. And then you have some other players under there. Right? So then you have to play your role. Right? So you can't come out there. I see Mikal Bridges in Brooklyn, 30 shots, 35 shots. Absolutely no time at all in a Phoenix because, again, it's a different level. So, and I'm not calling Brooklyn a scrub team, but they're a bad team. Right? So when you go to a different team now, and as Lebron said, you have more freedom, but also there's a bunch of scrubs. So now you are the best player on the team. So now they're looking forward for you to play. But I want to go back to the point. What I'm saying is that we need to stop this little narrative about they give up a lot. They give up little 2 players. If Mikal Bridges, all right, so let's just take KD out of the picture. Put KD back on Brooklyn and Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson back in the Suns, it's still 2-0 right now. Still 2-0.
The flip side of the argument is that, right? There's not much depth on the Suns bench after they leave. You look at all the minutes. You look at the minutes played by the starters. It's a lot of minutes. You see what I'm saying? So coming off the bench, there's nobody that comes off the bench. At least you can say for Denver, Bruce Bowen comes off the bench and make a difference. I can't see a player comes off the bench and make a difference. So I'm not trying to create a justification for KD saying, oh, if he get knocked out, there's no blame on him. Yes, there may be some blame on him, but we got to look at it from a balanced perspective.
Boss, Devin, if you decide to take up a job at a place and then you underperform, I don't want you to tell me no excuse as to why you underperform. You decide to do that. KD directly wanted to go to the Suns. So he knew what it was, he knew the challenge and everything. Listen, you have DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker, a 50% Chris Paul. I'm sorry. You have to do better than what you do. I'm
All
sorry.
right.
So
And
I'm
you
not saying,
came one came say Aiton is a soft guy. Yeah, and you beat Aiton a
I
lot of
mean,
times.
I
So
mean, I mean,
that's
hold
having
on.
much expectation for Aiton in the playoffs.
Hold on. That's me saying that. That's
Right?
me. But
Right?
again,
So oh
when
no, you
KD,
put that you expect him to do a lot when before you're saying, oh,
well, guess what?
you know,
Well, I'll
Aiton
tell you.
has a contract, but
Well,
soft part.
I'll tell you why. When KD went to Brooklyn, right, and they asked when he went to Suns, and they
Right.
asked him, hey, blah blah blah. He said one of the reasons why he decided to go there was obviously Chris Paul being the ball handler, Devin Booker being a scorer just like himself, and DeAndre Ayton being the big man. So listen, regardless of how I feel about Ayton, that's me. I'm sitting on my couch. KD is the one who decided that he wanted to go to that team and he knew all of the pieces. So when you knew all of the pieces, just like when you decide to leave Golden State and you go to Brooklyn, I don't want to hear about, oh, this man wants to trade, that man wants to trade. You single-handedly decide to go over there. So when you go over there, I'm judging you solely off that merit. I don't want to hear bench need to get stronger, blah, blah, blah. That's a front office business. That's a GM business. That's an owner business. You do that. I am looking on the court, and obviously, when from the season start up until now, Denver has had one of the deepest teams. Denver, the Clippers. Those two teams are very deep. Clippers just can't stay healthy, right? So again, even if let us put KD back on Brooklyn, right? And then we have Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges. Where is the bench scoring come from, Devin? Where's the bench scoring coming
All
from?
right. All right. So what's the point of you saying Denver as a strong deck from
No,
big cities, right? What's the
no,
point?
because you're making the argument, right? You're making the argument that hey, because they trade off KD, they lose some pieces. And I'm saying, if you watch the Suns last year, which I'm sure you did, they were
Mhm.
horrible last year, right? They were horrible last year, and they have the same issue this year. They have an old point guard who is done, can't stay healthy, just not as good anymore. You know, father time has come, he's just not as good anymore. Aiton for me is all right. And Devin Booker, he is what he is, right? So I'm saying when a team line up that can throw 1,000,001 bodies at KD, 1,000,001 bodies at Booker, then we're looking at Cameron Payne for score, a 40% Chris Paul for score, and a DeAndre Ayton for score. Like right now, I got fooled in the Clipper series because Kawhi and Paul George was out. Because I said, oh, the
Yeah.
Suns are gonna sweep Denver. Denver lucky if they win a game. That's what I was saying. Now I'm looking, I can't see how Suns win a game. I just can't see it. Because Denver have so many bodies, so many people. They have Jamal Murray, they have Joker, they have Aaron Gordon. As you talk about, even Caldwell Pope shooting that basketball,
You
but the
remember,
man shooting.
remember I said last night that man when he was at Lakers, you and I cuss him and said, you can't make a three and look at him making three now in
The
Denver.
man shooting
So I could find
40%.
him, find Pope.
The
Trust
man
me.
shooting
I
40%
would
from
be scared.
3-point range.
Don't, don't,
That man shooting threes and when he was at Lakers. Well, all right, my point is before the series start, and you all know what people can justify in an NBA competition over on another page. I said Denver in 7. And it's because of that same don't have enough pieces, Suns coming off the bench. And I get what you're saying. He knew this and he went there. But the fact is, I can't remember in past history or recent history that any NBA championship team that won with like a weak bench and an awful bench. You have to have like a good player, at least one. I don't know. I can't remember.
All right, Greg. Two nil down. They said sweep for the Suns, or you think they can get back into the series?
I think they can, because to be honest, because I was telling Devin this at work, because even then too, when we were talking about the Lakers and the Warriors series, you gotta look at the role players. The role players are definitely they always play better at home. So I don't expect Katie to get swept this time, just because I feel like with him and Devin Booker, they're gonna do what they can because they're gonna have to average at least maybe 60, 70 points between the two of them just for them to be able to have a chance. So I expect the who's that guy? Torrey Craig to play well like he did in the Clippers series.
Torrey Craig.
No, that's not his. No,
No, I'm saying like I'm just saying Torrey Craig.
Torrey Craig.
That man not gonna play good.
no, but remember he was knocking down big shots against the Clippers at home.
Well,
So-
the Clippers are nobody.
but
So you're saying the trend will continue at home.
But that's the point I'm trying to make. Role
knockdown.
players always play better at home than they do on the road. So when they pass the ball, because obviously Booker's gonna have to play the point guard now. So when Denver throws a lot of different looks, or when they double team him, they're gonna have to pass the ball to their role players to make some shots.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Greg.
Mhm.
So Kevin Durant numbers for game 2: 24 points, 8 rebounds, 10 of 27 shooting. That's 37%. 2 of 12 from 3-point range. Let me tell you something. No matter how much Torrey Craig is going to give you at home, if Kevin Durant continue on this trend, is 4-0 sweep out the building. Like Kevin Durant has to be better. The first game 1, Kevin Durant had 7 turnovers. The whole Suns team had 12. So again, Kevin Durant has to be better. He has been one of the main reasons why the Suns have not been playing good basketball. Obviously, we can talk about Chris Paul. Chris Paul can be scoring 11 points and shooting 13 shots, 4 assists and all the mixed in. You can't have that, right? But I'm looking at Kevin Durant. He is the best player on the team, right? He's the best player on the team. He's a superstar. He's the champion.
Right.
He's the only one on that team that has won a ring.
Yes.
He has to be the one to come and say, all right, guys, let me show you guys how to do it. But right now, he's showing them how not to do it. Because if he continues like this, and I think tomorrow is the next game, all right, I'll tell you this right now. If Kevin Durant don't score over 35 points tomorrow, it's 3-0. It's 3-0 tomorrow.
Yeah, but that also goes.
I can't get over the Torrey Craig. Remember when we had that staff game at work? I'm not a basketball player. And I think you have a better chance of hitting down some threes right now. You go shoot up than Torrey Craig.
But when I mention his name, I'm like, it does. Whether if it's him or whoever is, even if it's the 9th or 10th person on the bench, somebody's gonna need to help him and Booker to alleviate the scoring that they need.
True, I agree with that, but I can't see that person.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Since they home, they're gonna get their foul calls and everything. So it just depends on how aggressive that they are. Because it's either one or the other. Because game 1 it was Murray, game 2 it was Joker. So clearly they don't have anybody to at least neutralize that. Because Ayton, I don't know what he's doing because he hasn't been doing anything on the defensive end or even scoring wise.
I mean, that's generally him when it comes down to playoffs.
Basically. And to be honest, he wasn't even supposed to be here because, they matched Indiana's, when Indiana was going to sign him when he was the restricted.
When he was a restricted free agent. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So, but if here's the thing, KD can't get swept to playoff. Well, obviously they won the last one, but he can't get swept 2 playoffs in a row, and I don't see that happening. Right now I have Denver winning the series, but especially with how great KD is, KD should at least be able to win these 2 games at home, just to give that team a chance until Chris Paul comes back. But also too, that goes with that whole being a leader thing. The voice you said about him, he said I have to put the team on my back and everything. But that's if he's gonna take that initiative to do that. Because technically the pressure's on him because he forced his way into he didn't force his way into Brooklyn, but he left Brooklyn, forced his way into Phoenix. He has to produce and get it done.
Yep. Here's JQ in the comment section saying that no doubt Kems KD has to go over 30 to stand a chance. Yep.
So, do y'all remember there was that one game? I believe it was game 6 against Milwaukee, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if it was game 6 or game 7 when he had like that.
Boys on the line and the shoes was too big.
But his stat line that game where he had like 48, 49 points, he averaged like a triple double or something like that. He is capable of doing that, and I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up doing that for the next game for game 3.
Good
All
luck.
right. Wise, I'm with you. No, wait, not with you. I can say this, right? I'll still stick by, even though Kems was refuting my point that okay, his bench is not good enough, and I could defend him to say okay, it doesn't have enough defensive pieces. But what I can't defend or find a logical reason is that for him to dominate and put the team on his back and that leadership thing, that's not him. Right? I mean, he may try to dominate, but all I see is Booker like taking out a shot. Booker's been dominating. Booker's been the guy. You get what I'm saying? So at some point he has to say, which he's not a leader, step up and say, all right, let me take this game over. But his coach, when he just came in, they asked him about that. You know, we talk about narrative. And the Suns or whoever, like the question that Lebron asked before, they didn't try to control that narrative. Monty said that, yeah, I'll take care of the leadership thing with him. He said that in an interview. I'll take care of that leadership thing for him. You don't have to worry about that. And I'm saying, like what? Seriously? You're not even trying to say, okay, at some point, he's going to be a good leader. He said he'll take care of the coach will take care of the leadership thing for your star player. That to me just rubbed me the wrong way. Like, that leadership thing, no, they ain't trying to change the narrative that he's not a great leader. I guess, like Kim said, he just want to play ball.
I mean, so Devin, as I said, like it's not a secret, something where the man come out and say.
Right.
But again, he also said that, there's not one way how to be a leader, which I agree with. Right? Again, I guess probably based off our culture, or basically what we have lived to know, is the particular kind of leadership that we have grown to see. So we want to see, like as a Manchester United fan, we want to see the Roy Keane kind of leadership. We want you to go up in a boy face. We want you to make boy know what time it is. So I'm not joking time, right? But Kane is just, he's just not that kind of guy. And I can live with that, right? But again, what I can't live with is subpar basketball. And that's what he's playing now. I have
But
no
that's the point
problem.
that you're making, Kems, that you stated that he's not that sort of guy that is going to go up into faces and all that. He'll make the basketball talk. However, that is what he's not doing right now.
Exactly. So that is the issue, because right now he's playing subpar basketball, and again, he has to be. There's no Steph Curry, there's no Klay Thompson, there's no Draymond Green. Where if he has a bad game, then they'll have a good game, right? It's rare you'll have Steph, Klay, KD all have a bad game together. But no, Chris Paul no know him do, no know him hand from him foot. Aiton, you already hear Greg say about Aiton already. And no, so it's no up to KD. Again, you know what they always say. The grass is not always greener and not all that glitters is gold. When you're sitting over here and you're looking at that Suns team and you say, boy, if I join that Suns team, they will automatically win a championship. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
All right. Now we're going to move on to another series that is more interesting because, and that's between the New York Knicks and the Miami Heat. I think we look at both these teams and how they are currently constructed. You say that Knicks, for example, it seems a bit to me. They just seems a bit over reliant on Jalen Brunson. And you look at Randall, for example. Yeah, he came in the last game and they got a win. And I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, they can't win a game without Randall and all those stuff." But
you see one crazy man saying that.
We're going to go back to the same leadership thing. Do we think that Randall is a leader for this team, or is just a bit part player that is hot and cold, hit and miss here and there?
So what I'll say is, for the leader of the Knicks, I think that's Jalen Brunson. Right? I think he is the leader. I think Randall is the most vocal, but I think Jalen Brunson is the leader. Right? And again, based on, and I'm talking based on what I've heard from the media and New York Knicks players, what they come out and say. Josh Hart have said it, RJ Barrett have said it, that hey, this Jalen Brunson, that's my guy. And again, how do you know, right? A guy who has just joined the team, anytime it's time for the last shot, who have the ball? Always Jalen Brunson. Whether them miss or them turn it over, whatever, it's just always him. Julius, no, I like Randall, but I just think he's a bit too certain, too wild. He's just a bit too wild for me. So now, let us look at this now. So yesterday, right, Jalen Brown had 30 points, 10 of 19 shooting. Randall had 25 points, 8 of 18 shooting. Right? Bless up Lakers, Knicks. Yeah. So I think Jalen Brunson is the leader of the team. That is why they went out and they got him and they paid him, the amount of money that they paid him. I think that he has been a revelation for this team. And I think they said this is the first time Knicks have won a second round home playoff game since was 2003 or something like that with Carmelo Anthony, something like that, whenever that was. I don't know, 2013, I think, or somewhere around this. Whenever Melo was at the Knicks, I think Devin can tell me better. He was with his pom-poms cheering on Melo at that point in time, right? But I think Jalen Brunson is the leader. But about that series, obviously, I think the refs help out the Knicks big time. Obviously, they help them out big time. And I can point to different instances, what happened and so on and so forth. But I blame the Miami Heat. Listen, and Devin, you can agree with me on this, and I don't know if Greg really pre like this or Lebron. What I absolutely hate with basketball, when a team go up 1-0 away, like they win the first game, then take them foot off the gas. Oh, we have home court advantage now. Oh, we don't need to play the second game. Like I'm watching the Philly game right now. It's an absolute joke. Boston beat them by about 30. It's an absolute joke. I believe the second game, that should be a hardest game. Because now you want to go home with a 2-0 cushion. I don't know the length of Jimmy Butler injury and all of that. But for me, if he can play game 3, I believe he could have played game 2. And again, for the Knicks, when the margin is so minuscule, it's just a little 3-point here, a little turnover here or there. Like the margin is not that big between the Knicks and the Miami Heat. My best player, Jimmy Butler, have to play that game yesterday. I want to go up 2-0 on the Knicks. I want to go up 2-0 on the Knicks. I want to go home in Miami South Beach up 2-0.
With an injury? Play with an injury?
I'm saying if he can play game 3, he can play game 2. It's a one-day break.
Wait. I know you as a great guy. What kind of doctoral, what kind of physical expertise you have in that for determining?
Well, I just said.
Explain the science to it.
I just said. That
don't make sense to make him.
Hold on, David. No, and that's
he
all
can
right.
play
It doesn't
game
make
3.
sense.
That means he should.
I am saying.
Play game 2.
I am saying, David. Okay, I'm saying they say you have a high ankle sprain, right?
And I'm
ankle. All right, hold on. So I am saying, if it's me, right? Again,
you as the coach.
If Miami was down, let me ask you a question.
I'm saying you. No, just ask you something. Just say if it was you as a coach or you as
me as a coach, the GM, the owner. If you
okay, all right, cool.
Let me ask you a question first, though. If Miami was down 3-0 in that game yesterday, do you think Jimmy Butler played? Yes or no?
I am not sure.
Well, I'm asking you your opinion. What do you think?
I don't think so, based on the extent of his based on the extent of his injury.
So you don't think Jimmy
I leave that up to the doctors, boss. I leave that up to the doctors.
Well, of course, we're gonna leave it up to the doctors to make the official.
They say he can't play. I'm going with that. The only man I know go against doctors and playing on one leg and was Kobe playing and injuring whatever finger and all that. I know about Kobe playing despite team suggesting that he should rest.
Again, Lebron, we're going to look back on this game, right? If Miami lose the series, we're going to circle back that game here. And I'm saying, if he can play game 3, which is on tomorrow game 3, if he can play game 3 tomorrow, you could have played game 2 Tuesday. That's all I'm saying. This is the playoffs. It's not regular season. Figure it out. I'm sorry. Figure it out. Play basketball. Go ahead, Greg.
Well, going back, it's clearly Brunson's team, because as soon as they sign him, he's just taking control of the team, and to be honest, it was best for that to happen because you saw what happened the last time when Randall was in position. He got beat 4-1 by Trae Young and the Hawks years ago. So with Randall, because even then too, he is a hothead, but at least with Jalen Brunson, he's the point guard that the Knicks needed, and it gives them balance where they just play better under him. The energy that he brings the team as well as, in the Garden. So with him, clearly I would say it's his team compared to Randall, because even then too with Randall, at some point the Knicks were just shopping him around. At one point, if they were looking to see if they can trade him for Zion, because that's one of the reasons why they brought in Cam Reddish in, because they was trying to get the Duke, those 3 Duke players, him, Zion, and RJ together as a way to appease Zion for him to come to New York. But obviously with Zion, you see what's going on with him in New Orleans, can't stay healthy, gaining all that weight and whatnot. But this is clearly Jalen Brunson's team, because even then too, his dad is one of the coaches on the coaching staff and everything. So the team will go as far as Jalen Brunson goes.
All right, Evan, let me know the clear, please.
Stick up in Devin.
All right, go ahead.
Just to make some clarity. Based on what you said, Kims, I can see why they didn't play Butler, because remember that actually the next game is actually Saturday. So there's a lot of time frame in that span that he could actually get some recovery in that space. So
that even helped my point. Play, and then you have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, get ready for Saturday. All I'm saying, Lebron, with the margin so tight between the 2 teams, you just have to play. Okay. You have to play. Because again, all right, say you go game 3 now, and you lose game 3 to the Knicks. Now Knicks have back home court advantage, and now you're in a bunch of trouble. Like Miami, with a bunch of scrubs, brought them right down to the wire. Insert Jimmy Butler in that game, that's a Miami win. That's 2-0. That's 2-0. If Jimmy, again, I'll say it, Jimmy Butler was able to finish that game 1, listen, I don't want no excuses, boss man. Finish the game 2, win the game 2, and then go home and, listen, Lebron, these guys are millionaires. Some of them are billionaires. They have the best doctors that we don't have access to. They have the best medication that we do. You have access to it, Devin, you're making up a face. You have access to the doctors.
I'm just saying you're trying to beat me. Don't talk about that, So you have beat around all the bush about that, and you could come with a great theory and a great thesis to write about it. I am still maintaining my stance. That is garbage, brother. Like, suppose the man play now and he's out. That's the man play now and he's out, and further aggravate that injury, and he's done for the season. That's it for them, irrespective of how you are saying that the series was close in that second game without him.
And then play game 3.
It's a wrap. Butler don't play anymore game.
And then he plays game 3. And then he plays game 3. And then him out the sun. Then what happened?
Life is about, most of life is about probability, It's more probable that he would injure playing game 2, and it's less likely that an injury will come up when you get that rest for him to be injured and out.
How is it less likely?
You don't say the Reddick.
No, I'm asking you, how is it less? I'm asking you, how is it less likely? I want you to explain.
So what I'm saying, what game 2 was what? Like a 1 day span.
2 days.
Yeah, 2 days.
Span, right. Between game 1 and game 2.
Mm-hmm.
So Kems, they say it was swelling. So if he plays that game, there's not enough recovery time. We don't know. We're not no medical expert. Of course. I know you live in Florida and you're around there. I don't know if you link somebody in Miami to find out. Okay, this is what the exact diagnosis was. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, give him some rest until Saturday.
Okay.
And more than likely, it's better. More rest.
That's probably why I don't own a basketball team, because Jimmy Butler would have to be out there playing.
He's like a Bakra master, brother.
Have to be played with an ankle. Yep.
Let's call this serious, man. We all take it.
I have Knicks in 6.
Same.
That's for the
I have
series.
Knicks
Like
in
I'm saying,
6 as well.
I'm going with my prediction before the series, and I'm sticking with it. I don't want to change. I said Knicks in 6. So I'm sticking with that.
Greg, what do you say?
I have Knicks in 6. I'd be more confident in Miami if Tyler Hero wasn't injured, just because once New York, Coach Tibbs, once they're able to figure out on how to neutralize Butler, where else is that scoring going to
Who? New boss. But I don't think I don't know if you don't really watch the NBA, Greg. But let me just inform you really quickly. You see the Milwaukee Bucks, they were top 3 defensive team in the NBA. If they weren't able to neutralize him, I don't see a body on the New York Knicks who can neutralize Jimmy Butler.
Knicks had a high defensive rating as well. Knicks was
it wasn't top 3 though. It wasn't top 3. It wasn't top 3. But I'm saying, who on the Knicks? Who on the Knicks you can trust to say neutralize Jimmy Butler?
I can't think of it now, but like it's like
who on the Knicks can defend as well as Drew Holiday can defend?
It's like I'm going with the notion that those 55 point performance by Jimmy Butler, those 40, it's not gonna carry on in Knicks. It's not gonna continue with the New York Knicks.
And then also too, do y'all remember
Bucks is an
in,
older team. Bucks is one of the oldest team in the league. Yeah, even though they have a defensive rating in the playoffs, they can't keep up. They couldn't keep up.
Bro, they have one second, Greg.
Okay.
Bro. They have Drew Holiday, who is one of the top. He's not old. He's one of the top defenders in the NBA. Right? And I'm saying he couldn't stop Jimmy Butler. Right? And I'm saying, David, not because Jimmy Butler don't get 40 against the Knicks or 50 against the Knicks, mean he's not as effective. Again, as Jimmy Butler said, whatever is needed to win the game, that's what I'll do. In game 1, he had 25 points and 11 rebounds and 8 assists. That was needed to beat the Knicks that game. Probably in game 3, if he play, probably need to score 70. Probably need to score 2. It all depends on what is needed for the game.
All right.
That's true.
Miami in 6.
Please, Lebron, let me just say something. Please, I'm begging. Right, so these people on social media are saying they're beating me, and I'm taking a beating that I have 3 teams. But look, this guy named Diego Ogilvy, I moved to New York in 2015, and that man said to me, right, okay, if you're in an area where you live, don't let anybody tell you about whatever about your team. You have your team coming up, it's okay to support the team in where you live. So Junior JQ, Laker hater, Randy Morgan, another Laker hater, the one who drinks the Gatorade for Lebron, Gary Dixon, all of them. Boss, I just support those teams because of where I live. Bias can tell you, I've worked with him now 7-8 years. Lakers is my team. My brother-in-law is on the line. You see, he's in the chat, supposed to be watching on. Lakers is my team, even though I'm in New York City. Yeah, bro, I can't go to California. I don't have that money. So I go to a cheap, well, Kims can tell you. The nosebleed seat I always watch.
Yeah, that's all I can afford.
I support the team where I live because, we love sports. So please don't get it twisted. Lakers is my team. I live in New York. I go and watch a game.
But let me ask this. Who come up with this notion say you can only have one team? Who come up with this you can only have one team? Who come up with that?
I don't know. But I have one team in football and because I don't see the need to follow another team. I have one team in basketball.
Yes, so bro. I'm going to go with your same notion. Why is it that you don't support an MLS team since you support the team that you're in your general basis?
You bother with that question because everybody know here we don't follow MLS like that. Come on, man.
But Devin, what I'm trying to say is that yes, if a guy's like JQ, well, not JQ at the equation, even though he's part of it still, but for a man like Demo, Josh, and those fans, you're going to leave them alone, right? Man, they stop support Lakers because of Lebron. You're going to leave them fans alone because you support 3 teams in. So you're going to leave them man there alone too.
I have my justification, so I'll end it at that.
Them have their justification, man. They don't like Lebron. Simple as that.
Right. So and I disagree with their justification, and they can disagree with mine, and they can call me a wagonist or a three-team person. I care zero less about what they're saying. I
Well,
know
let's be
I'm a Laker fan. Ask Bias if I ever talk about Knicks or Nets like that. In Bias,
yeah.
Nope, you
Okay.
haven't. The only time when you talk about the Nets is if when Katie and Kyrie came, the tickets became more expensive and you wouldn't be able to go to the games anymore. That was
thank
it.
you, sir.
Okay,
Thank
okay, great. Don't listen to Devin, right? Because we normally have an NBA podcast, and every single night this man used to sing on his Brooklyn Nets. Kems can attest to that because Kems used to host the show. Every
because
single night this man used to
Superstar was
attest to
there.
his Nets.
Superstar was there, but I never threw it Lakers. Superstar was there in a proximity that I was.
All right, boss, say less. But I think I'm going to go with Kems on this one as well. I'm taking the Heat to get it past the Knicks. Um, Same game that Kim just mentioned that is taking place right now as well between the Celtics and 76ers. Currently, the score is 101-75, and it's in the fourth quarter, 6 minutes and 47 seconds remain. Um, Basically, the series are at 1-all. We're taking to qualify from this one. And also, when I factor in the beating that they're getting right now, if you realize that Tatum hasn't really done much in this game either.
Yeah, so for me, obviously, you'd say Boston is a better team, more seasoned team. They went to the finals last year. The cohesion, Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, they've been to Eastern Conference Finals. They've been there. Al Harford too. But for me, I'm going to Philly to win this series in seven, right? And and I'm basing it off a couple of things, right? So this is the only way I believe Boston can win the series if they blow out Philly for three more games, and I don't see that happening because again, two of those games are going to be in Philly. What I saw from Boston versus the Hawks was really worrisome to me. I thought Boston was better than that, but I think I have to scale down on them. Um, their half court, their half court defense is not as good as I thought it can be. Obviously, I think they were better under Udoka than there's under this coach. Obviously, I think Philly is better under Doc Rivers now. I think what I see Doc Rivers doing right now, I see him actually coaching. I like what James Harden is doing. He had 45 the first game. Obviously, Joel is back. I don't expect him to have that much this game. But I like the fact that he's assisting. I like what Maxi is doing out there. Tobias Harris is not my favorite cup of tea, but he's out there, so he's doing his thing. Right. So when I'm looking at both teams and I'm looking at the strengths, I'm looking at the weaknesses. The last 4 minutes of a basketball game, when the game is tight, it always get me for Boston. They don't execute well. Marcus Smart plays a bigger role than he's actually capable of. When Jason Tatum or Jalen Brown should have the ball, I see Marcus Smart with the ball driving and shooting trees. No, I know you're a time boss, man. Right? I think on Philly, the roles are a bit more established. Joel Embiid, James Harden. Joel Embiid is a closer. James Harden is a man. Who's set of the players, right? Again, regular season. Obviously, Boston want them regular season, but that's the regular season. I'm looking at this, and I think Philly has a fair chance to win this series, especially like how they already win game one, going back home 1-1. Again, Lebron, a game like this where you lose by 32, 40 points in the playoffs, you know what the coaches normally do? Just throw away this tape. We're not even watching this. We already got the one game that we wanted, quote unquote, even though I would love for them to get a second game. But we got the one game. Now we're going home. Let's protect home court. If Philly don't lose a game on their home court, they move on to the conference finals. I'm going with Philly in seven.
All right, great.
So I got Boston winning. I have Boston in. I have Boston in seven. And this game, I know we're talking about, oh, Jimmy Butler should have played the last game and everything. But with this one, there was no reason for Embiid to play. Just because with Embiid, like a big man always hurt and whatnot, I felt like he needed more rest because there's really no reason for him to play. Because to be honest, this could have been a game Philly could have won, but because Embiid played, it changed the dynamic. Philly, James Harden became the Houston Rockets James Harden from the last game. I felt like he could have at least, if they would have gave him more of the reins for this game, he could have possibly had like close to a repeat performance. Obviously, Boston was gonna make adjustments like as needed, as expected. But I thought Philly, by saying that Embiid for him to play, that kind of was like, let's just see how he is out there. And after that, they're gonna have a few more days rest for him to get ready to come back at home in front of the home crowd. But with this team, again, I expect Boston to win just because I feel like they're just better. On paper, they're just better. Tobias Harris, he's a streaky guy. You don't know what you're going to get from him. Even with James Harden, with his history in the playoffs. Yes, he had a great game, but with him, he's always known for as a person that doesn't come through when needed. And Embiid, he's a great player, but in the playoffs, when you always need him, just like what happened, he's hurt. So I have Boston winning in 7.
All right. So, Mr. Greg, I don't know if you ever heard about me, but I'm going to let you know it right now. So, my name is The Voice, and I can't allow you or your friend Devin to mislead the audience. Can't allow that to happen. I'm sorry, Mr. Greg. So, no, you are seeing, Mr. Greg, that Embiid needed more rest. Do you know, Mr. Greg, Embiid haven't played a game since he played game 3 in the first round? Do you know that Embiid have had, I think, 11, 12, 13 days rest at this current juncture? So, you're saying that you don't think that Embiid should play. I love the fact that Embiid played. Guess why? A big man in such a physical series, you want him to get back out there, get a little bit of hit, get a little bit of roughness, get some aggression out there, and see what happens. See how your body reacts. You don't want to come now in game 3 when the series is 1-1. Now a must win, and then you're going to ask Embiid, hey, you haven't played in 13, 14, 15, 16 days. I want you to just come right away and just jump right into it. So the fact that they make Embiid play today, I think is because I don't think Embiid even take 10 shots today. So I think it was a direct tactic from the coaching staff. Hey, get out there, get a feel of the basketball, get some basketball reps, run up and down the court, see how the knee feels, and then game 3, we can go all out. Right? So I think that is what really happened. So Greg, great point that you made, but I can't allow you to be incomplete and mislead the fans here and mislead the audience. So when you're doing that, Greg, just let you know, don't be like your friend Devin and be short-handed and stuff. I want to tell the totality, the full story, right? So because he haven't played that much, that is why they inserted him in that game. No, Greg, you also said something, and again, another misleading fact. Listen, we saw James Harden playing for Houston, and James Harden said it himself, and I don't know if you have the quote, Lebron. What James Harden said, and I will paraphrase. When I was playing in Houston, they said I was playing losing basketball. Now I'm not averaging 40, and they're saying that I should go back to play like Houston. That is exactly what Greg is saying. We do not want James Harden to play like Houston at all. No. That 45 points, okay, once in a blue moon. What we want James Harden to do, 20 points, 15 assists, 16 assists, 50% from the field, 45% from the field, 33% from 3, 2 turnovers, probably 3 turnovers. That is Philly's best recipe. The moment James Harden starts shooting 30 shots, 35 shots, Boston will win this series in 5 games. If James Harden shoots 30 shots the next game, I guarantee you Boston win by about 30 points. Because that is not the recipe for success. Give Joel Embiid the ball, put him down low against old man Al Horford. Robert Williams can't stay healthy. So against old man Al Horford, get to work, kill him down there in the paint, and get a W. So again, I know you picked Boston, but I don't see Boston winning this series. So I'm going Miami, Philly, Eastern Conference Finals, and I can't wait for us to get to the West.
All right, those two Eastern Conference prediction gonna be so totally wrong. All right, I have Boston in before the start of the series, sticking with it. When I look at the teams, great starters they have, but Statsman Jason Boxed Curlew was saying an X factor for the Lakers series, even though we don't reach here, so it right was Poole, right? Bring down the stats, and we mentioned that we're going to talk about that later. But the X factor, when I compare these two teams and look at the bench, I like Bragdon. You know what I mean? I like Bragdon as an X factor to win this, assisting winning the series for Boston. I think he got what? He was the official 6 man of the year, was he?
Mhm.
Yes, he was.
Right?
He was.
Yes, he was a 6 man of the year. So with that and the supporting cast, well, not the supporting cast, the starting duo of Tatum and Brown, we don't have to continue about how great they are. But one thing I would agree with you on Kemps, you know, Boston is 6, but one thing I disagree with a lot of the stuff with you as it relates to the doctor and the plane and whatever. I agree with you with that Marcus Smart thing. Marcus Smart is acting like he's the man sometimes. So I agree with you with like he think he's like top dog, and I think they're giving him too much role than what he can actually do. He's
That's what
like,
I was saying to Devin. So don't you think that comes down to coaching and the organization itself? Because all right, if you have a Jalen Brown and a Jason Tatum, why is it that make it outline it point blank clear to Marcus Smart said these are the guys that supposed to have the ball on the last shot or take the big shot in the final moment of games? And
just like
it's multiple times I've seen Smart doing it, and I'm like, bro, why?
right. Just like with the Randall thing and the Randall comparison with Knicks. Jalen Brunson is the man. Just like from he was at I think he was a champion at Villanova. He's the man. You know what I'm saying? I think Marcus Smart is trying to fool himself. Like I know JQ's a big Knicks fan and talk about Randall is the man. Randall is not the man. And Marcus Smart is thinking that he's the man. He's not the man. He's not the top dog.
And here's Rash Cadillac, who is a Celtics fan, saying that he's the X factor, but the Duns coach seems to prefer using Smart in critical moments.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, man. Big up Rash, man. Rash is a big Celtics fan. Yeah.
Rash will cry after this series.
And Demo saying that Smart is key for the Celtics, boss.
I don't.
Smart is key, He is.
Yeah, I
but
agree.
on the defensive end. On
Correct.
the defensive end.
Not on the fight, not in the big moments of the game.
I don't care if the basket wide open. I don't want Smart running to the basket. No. Pass the ball. Give it to the big guns.
Facts.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think we have reached a section of the show that I just have these.
No.
We
Want it to be here.
No. I will be here, but I shall be muted.
No.
I'll just let you guys have the floor.
No.
Bro, I got my tooth kicked out last game, so I have no talk.
No, but this is what
You guys
makes
have
me
the
think
talk.
that I see a lot of people and just like what I see these so-called experts on TV. You know what I mean? They like they talk before and make some big talk before, and then when the actual game come on, they try to backpedal on what they're saying. Like Stephen there. I hear the man was talking about, oh, yes, Memphis is gonna destroy, and Memphis as good as Lakers is, and whatever. Memphis is gonna.
Devin, it's not like my stance has changed.
And
I still have Warriors winning. That's the whole point.
No, make your big talk. Don't be muted. Big talk.
I'm not back from that, brother. But I tell you point blank, I still have the Warriors winning the series.
All right, so let's start.
Now it's over to you guys. I mean, you guys were great last game, man. We shoot a lot of things, but still ended up getting the L. But one thing I want to point out, big balance series. Your man talks a pool at the X this and X that, brother. Right now, pool don't even know him a player. It used to be pool party. Right now, it seems like the party dry up because I'm gonna say it. From me, went out with a particular female. It's like this guy basketball has just gone on like this. He's just taking a U-turn, and Poole is not the guy that he once was. And right now, I'm happy when I'm not seeing Poole on the court. Honestly, coming from a guy that actually rates Poole, so I prefer not seeing Poole on that court right now, based on how he's playing.
So I don't think Poole. I mean, that's.
You might say he's a streaky player, yes, but come on.
No.
He was more consistent with his plays versus no.
No, not all. All right, so let me tell you, all right, and this is what me see. And again, people will always try and find somebody for blame for your overall bad performance, all right? If
Kems, rephrase, not performance.
no,
Pool
the
has
whole
been
no,
performances.
no,
It has
no,
been a minute since he has been poor, bro.
no,
It
boss. I'm
has.
saying no. Listen, what I'm saying, Chief. What I'm saying is they want to blame Poole for the bad performance of the Warriors last night, right? I think the whole Warriors team was bad last night. You know, irrespective of what the scoreline say, I think the whole team was bad. Right? No. But if we can dissect the game or dissect Poole, remember, Clay hit six threes, Corey hit six threes, Poole hit six threes. I can tell you this. Poole hit that shot last night is a total different argument we have. Probably not from you, Levon, but from the media. This, let me tell you exactly what the headlines would say. This is what we know the Warriors to do. Put faith in their young players. Great, great, great shot making. The Warriors are back. Blah 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 blah. Because they do it all the time. But again, it's a make or miss league. Again, I think if Poole get that shot again, I think he's taking it again. And I think he probably hit it. Because I didn't think he missed by much. No, I don't. I think where Poole problems come in now is on the defensive end. Because what other teams have found out, Levon, and I don't know if when I watch a basketball as deep to kind of see it, because when he was doing those great performances, he was able to hide on defense. So he didn't have to defend that much. No, all of the teams, they're used to do it with Steph Curry too. They're looking for Jordan Poole anywhere he is, and then when they make the switch, they try to switch, so he's on him one on one, and they know it's barbecue chicken. So that is what they're doing for Poole. So I think he's working harder on the defensive end, and we know him can defend, so they know he's trying to give the same output on the offensive end, and it's just not happening for him right now. But I think he'll get it together. He's making a lot of money. I think he'll get it together. He's just having a bad spell right now. Now for the game itself. Obviously, extremely impressed with how Anthony Davis played. You know, the second player since Tim Duncan with a 30, 25 blocks, 4 assists, all that kind of stuff. Tim Duncan did it in 2003, Anthony Davis did it in 2023. And obviously, he's in that Laker category with the greats Kareem Abdul, Shaq, and all those guys with 30 and 20 game, right? And again, I think the fact that the Lakers finished the Memphis series in 6 helped them a whole lot. And the fact that Warriors went to 7 games didn't help them a whole lot in this game. Obviously, I think game 2 is going to be a lot more competitive. One thing I want to point out, and I don't know if it's age or anything for LeBron, but LeBron is shooting 18% from three-point range in the playoffs. That ranks dead last of active three-point shooters in the playoff. And he's shooting about 8 of them per game. So again, I don't know if he's saving his strength or him all or I don't know what it is. But again, he has to get it together. Okay? He can't go toe-to-toe with the Warriors. Yesterday, the Warriors shot 53 threes. 53. And the Lakers shot 25 free throws. So again, they made 20, and I think the Warriors made around 21 out of the 53 threes. Right? So again, you can't go toe-to-toe with the Warriors. I love Vanderbilt's activity on Steph Curry. I love AD's activity on the defense. I even love Brown's activity, and I love Dennis Schroeder on the defense as well, right? Defense is what is going to have to win this game. No, Devin, what I was saying earlier, game 2, tomorrow, game 2, Levon?
Yeah, yes,
Game
yes,
2,
yes.
game 2, Lakers have to play like they are down 1-0. You don't want, again, as I said it, you don't want the Warriors an inch of hope so they have a chance to win a game. Right? Because again, as bad as they played, the fact that the score was that close, they're thinking that. At the same thing with the Kings. Remember
Yes,
that the
you just
first
make a
2
great
games?
point because imagine, as I said, they took 53 threes and they only made 21.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
imagine that, and as I mentioned, the
Yep.
score was that close.
Yeah,
Of
bro.
course, Warriors already have it in their head that hey, we can
Mhm.
beat this team.
Bro, in the last 3 minutes, Warriors went on a 11-0 run. Like the Lakers could not score.
Right.
Everybody, go ahead, Devin.
No, I'm saying right.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
like to interrupt people when they're talking. It's a master Kems. You
All
should
right.
take advice.
But yeah, so they Warriors made an 11-0 run. So again, the Warriors are going back feeling confident. If you remember with the Kings, Warriors played two bad games and the Kings won. Warriors go back to Golden State thinking, hey, we can beat these guys. Because we played bad and we were in the game. So again, Lakers have to come out with the same energy, with the same defensive presence. Again, you can't get discouraged because listen, no matter if Curry are 45, that man can shoot the basketball from anywhere. And that man, I think the clock team and them said that man run about 7 miles per game. The man is just running non-stop. 38-year-old Lebron can't keep up with him. Can't keep up with that man. So again, it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough series. As I said before, there's no gloating from me until a team reach 4. If the right team reach 4, I will gloat. If the wrong team reach 4, I will hide. That is all I have to say.
All right. All right. Sorry, bias. I'm gonna go next. I have 4 points to make where this is concerned. 4 points. First point I want to make is not necessarily related to the basketball. It's about Kems. And he's consistent with saying this when he's, starting his stake or doing his stake. I don't know if you guys are watching basketball. I don't know if you see the game like I do. Like, stop showing them supplement. I'm shots, man. That's why we're here. We're not
Oh,
here. That's why we're here. We watching basketball just as you. If you're
no,
making a point, just make the point.
no,
But
but
don't like throw that out like you say, yo, yeah, you wanna not pre like me, not eat it.
no, I'm not. No, Devin, hold on. I'm not. Hold on. What I'm saying, boss, let me show you. Like, even after the game, like I recorded the game. You see when me I respond to you early in the morning about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock? Like when I record the game, like I go back and watch it, and like me I break down the game to myself. Not a lot of people are gonna do that. People don't like basketball like that. But man, I do that with basketball, I'm gonna
Bro,
do it with NFL.
me I gonna
Right?
interrupt you again. Not even football or cricket and me love so much. Me not record and go watch back over.
Exactly, like people don't do them something. So that's why I'm saying I don't know if I'm gonna do it like how I do, but that is something I'm enjoy doing. Because
Okay.
hopefully in the future we can get a job on one of them big network there.
I know.
And
I know. I see you doing that. But when you go up, don't go say, yo, you're not watching the game as I do. Right? You don't know about it. I
all right.
subscribe to Spectrum Sports for Lakers. At Spectrum, I think they are the local provider
Uh-huh.
in Lakers. So I watch their take and whatever. All right, so that's number one. All right, we threw that out the way. Number two, I have some stats here that is really, I mean, you can interpret it for whatever you want. That is encouraging to me on the Lakers. Like I look at the 3 players for Lakers, right? I check some stats. AD and Brand, they are both scoring at 22.1 in the playoffs. And they are both tied at 21 in the top 30 to 35. So they are 21. Both of them tied for 21 and they are both scoring 22.1 in this playoffs. Russ, 17. So that's showing me that there's a closer spread in terms of the distribution of these points. When I look at Golden State now, 32.9 for Steph, and he's like in the top 3 in this postseason. All right, I think
But
Jimmy is
Devin,
up here.
outline that as you pointed out. If you look at the just recently concluded series against Grizzlies, you realize that across the games that Lakers won,
Mhm.
you didn't really consistently have one man stand out. It's like every game is a different man,
Oh, you're so
both
smart.
sides per game.
You're making my point for me. That's where I'm going to. Very good, sir. Clay has 21 and he's in the top. I think he's in the top 30. Wiggins is down here at 17. So just by looking at the stats, I mean, Kems, when you're done, you can rebut or disagree or agree, whatever you think.
I
There's a
agree.
reliance on Steph Curry. You know what I mean? My team now, yeah, we know AD is very crucial by watching the game, but the stats is telling me that all right, this man can have a bad game and somebody else will chip in. And bias, I said it before, and we all know it. The role players play better at home. Achimura and Reeves and them gonna come in with that. All right.
Yes.
Third point, what I'm saying now is Lakers. There's a little history there. They said it in the game, and it may be misleading, but I want to look at the positive from it. We're 6-0 against the Warriors, dating back from 1991, I think. But that 6-0 may be misleading, but I want to go it to say, okay, these guys never beat us in the playoffs. And I hope the others are taking it that way. Oh, they never beat us yet. Even though Warriors are thinking, yes, we can beat them. They're nobody. We can beat them. But I'm thinking, right, even though in the 90s, you had a great team with Magic and them, and Warriors team wasn't all that great, but 6-0 is still 6-0 in the playoffs. All right. So that's how I want to look at it. I said 4, Poole. All right. Jason said that he's an X factor, and that shot that he take, I just want to mention with that shot, and people, I agree with him taking that shot. I agree with him taking that shot. That shot, people are saying he could have stepped in a bit more. Watching the game, all right, I'll use a cricket analogy real quick. When I even played a big cricket like Kems, you know, I know Kems has a big time trackman. He said he played some cricket back in the days in high school. All right.
Look up the trophy then.
Yeah, the stats is still out on that. Yeah, but I know about the stats. Greg.
Yeah, yes, sir.
I used to teach this man back in Jamaica. The Voice.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah, man, I used to teach this man accounting. And I know him as a great sprinter, but I don't know if him as any good cricket.
It wasn't all right, Greg. The Voice himself spoke about misleading information, so let me correct Devin. This man was a want-to-be sprinter. He wasn't good.
Well, great in quotes. Yes, thank you, sir. Great in quotes. It's based on my thing. I don't want to stray too much, but
Devin, tying back, your fourth point could tie back into your second point. You just pointed out about the stats line, right? And you said Steph is at what 32, and then you have
yeah,
31,
almost 33 in the playoffs.
But remember that. But look at it now. The third man that Warriors expect to score is Jordan Poole, and Jordan Poole stats line is very low as it currently is. So that is where the huge gap or the huge fall off there is.
Huh? All right. Are you sure if Poole is the third man they expect to score or Wiggins? Because Wiggins is at 17. Or they expect, I don't know. I'm asking anybody.
No, man, it's in terms of expectation, you'd have said it's Poole because I have Poole as the third man of the Splash Brothers. So in terms of consistency, in terms of scoring, because remember that even Wiggins himself is just coming back to full fitness or anything of that sort. So you'd expect that Poole would be the one to take up the mantle and be the third leading scorer, in which that's not the case.
Yeah.
But
just
I think
stuff on that shot that he took and him being an X factor. Yes, I still see him as an X factor, and I think he can great. He can knock us off, but yeah, like in cricket when you're batting and you're feeling it. I remember this game when Brathwaite, it was an ODI against New Zealand, and he was in the 90s. He was doing good, and I see the ball was there to be hit. Kems as a cricketer, if you're feeling it and you're hitting them and they've been successful, and even though probably a single or two or a double, you know, may have been a better, he fell for it and he went for it, and the guy, if he had made the 6, he would have won the game.
Yeah, man.
You get what I'm saying? But the guy took the catch. The New Zealand guy took the catch. I don't remember that game in a World Cup, ODI. Same thing with Poole. Kems said it. He made one. He had 6 trees, but he made one further than that earlier.
of course.
Yep.
Listen, what I realize the Lakers do, Devin, they have an ABC policy when it comes down to the last minutes. You know what that is?
Go ahead. Because you watch the game more than us. I don't know.
No. So the ABC policy is anybody but Curry.
Okay.
All right. So they like anybody shoot it. Curry, no. So they live with Poole beat them, Clay beat them, Draymond beat them.
I like that.
Can't make Curry beat you.
Yeah, I like that voice. I like that ABC policy.
I like that.
Yeah,
Greg, how about your beloved Lakers? I say you're going to sweep us.
That I was talking about that with Devin today. You know, I know he said he got no. What was it? Was it you or was it Mackenzie that said Lakers in 5?
Yeah, Mackenzie said Lakers in 5. I said Lakers in 7.
7. Yeah, I'm gonna go.
I'm hoping we can knock them off before that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Lakers in 6, just because listen, they have no answer for Anthony Davis, and as long as you continue to feed the beast, there's no reason why Anthony Davis can't average 30 and 15 the whole series. You know, but as everything it comes down to health, because every time when Anthony Davis takes the floor, I hold my breath, just because I'm afraid he's just like one broken toenail away from being out for the series and whatnot. But I'm gonna go with Lakers in 6, just because too, with the Warriors, I feel like even when 2, it's like at some point the shit got to end with them. Like who better to end it than who they started this streak, this dynasty with, which was against LeBron. So I feel like LeBron is gonna be the one to put the nail in the coffin.
Yes,
Greg,
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Greg, let me ask you a question, all right? Is this any at all concerning for you? So the first half, AD was 9 for 10. In the second half, he was 2 for 9. Are you any at all concerned that the Warriors probably figured him out in the second half? Are you any at all worried that he played 40? Remember, he was 2 for 9 in the second half, but he played the whole second half. He played all 24 minutes in the second half, right? Are you worried about, hey, he was a bit tired, he was a bit leggy? 2 for 9, it's not too good. Are you worried about that at all?
No, I'm not worried, just because even then too, sometimes too, I'm not gonna lie, watching the game yesterday, the Lakers sometimes they get away from the stuff that, remember, there was about 14 points. So
Mhm.
instead of continuing with what brought them the 14-point lead, they got away from that. So it's like, obviously it's all about matchups. So once they continue to just be consistent, because even then too, with the Lakers, yes, they just needed to win one game. So even then too, I was telling Devin, when they play the next game, I expect them to come out flat instead of being greedy, because they got what they wanted. They got the win on the road, and they got the home court advantage. But I will say I'm more looking forward to game 3, because especially too, like I said, I expect the Warriors to win the next game, but I expect the Lakers, especially being in front of that home crowd, and AD, he has something to prove, because especially too, if LeBron on his way out, he's got to prove to not only the Lakers but to the league that he is that guy. He's got that dog in him. So I'm not concerned at all. So just because, like I said, I already know what I'm going to get from AD.
All right, so I have another question. Greg, right? Okay, so are you? Because I asked you if you were worried. So let me ask you another question. Are you encouraged at the fact that this is the first time LeBron is beating the Warriors in a game 1? If we remember, the last game 1 that he had a chance to beat them in, J.R. Smith losing brain,
Yes.
and,
Yes.
and
Yes.
I
Yes.
don't know what he got there to do, but he lost his brain, and then George Hill missed a free throw, and then all kind of things, right?
Right. Right. Right.
Right.
Right.
So looking at this right now, do you think? I'm asking a two-part question. Do you think, one, this now sets the stage, as you said, for LeBron to go on and propel and get the Warriors out? One, and do you think any at all? I mean, obviously we don't know these athletes, so we're going to kind of project our thoughts on them. But do you think any at all LeBron is thinking, man, these guys swept me in the finals. These guys beat me so much. Boy, I want to sweep them so bad.
Yeah, of course. LeBron does have a chip on his shoulder. So I'm encouraged, just because, remember, that Cavs team that played the Warriors back when they had J.R. Smith had no business being there, because it was just LeBron and a whole bunch of younger players. Because even too, they had Jordan Clarkson.
Uh-huh.
Jordan Clarkson was
Wait. Sorry, Bice. This is the first time I'm ever interjecting in somebody's take. I want you to repeat what you just said for the brand haters, JQ and all of them. That statement there. Brandon,
Josh
no,
Gall,
what?
Levon, Trail.
Yeah, and Demon Josh Pastor. You hear what this man said?
Turn up the volume there, Greg, when you attack. Turn up the volume.
Yeah, man, repeat that part, man. That part is crucial, man.
I would say that Cavs team had no business being in the finals during that time because it was just LeBron by himself. Had an old damaged Kevin Love, a Tristan Thompson that couldn't really do anything. You had a young Jordan Clarkson before Jordan Clarkson is now the 6-man of the year participant in
Let's
everything.
not forget Matthew Dellavedova.
No, he wasn't there at that time. When they got swept to the Cavs, he wasn't by the Warriors. He wasn't on the team at that time.
He was off by. He was
he-
there. He was there for that first championship when Kyrie and K Love got hurt, right?
Yes, and then he was there the following year when they beat them when they came back 3-1 and beat them.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I say that to say because even then too, you saw how Cleveland, like that young Boston team, took them to 7. LeBron was exhausted. So even let's say if the Cavs won that game 1, did you expect them to beat the Warriors in that series?
Well, would I expect them? No. Would that kind of set a tone? Yes.
Because the way I look at it, I'm looking at it as even if the Cavs won that series, it was gonna end up being like the Lakers and the Sixers, where AI won that first game, and then it was a gentleman's sweep right after that. So I'm more encouraged now because look, LeBron at least has AD with him. If LeBron had an AD caliber guy with him during that time, I would say they might still lose the series, but they would at least put more of a fight because LeBron by himself going up against Steph, Draymond, Clay, and KD, he had no chance.
So no chance.
No
But what
chance.
I'll say to you guys is that could I get a dozen plus 10 Wobia man? Lakers not sweeping JSW.
And
Not happening.
one more thing to add. There's nobody on that team that's gonna make that same J.R. Smith boneheaded move like that. Because even then too, at least with the Lakers, especially too when you look at the supporting cast with a D'Lo,
Greg, are you sure about that?
it's better than that 2018 Cavs team.
The same guy that you just mentioned. Remember that he has some
I
sort
know
of
the snitch.
ties with
The snitch.
JSW. So try remember that.
Yeah, I know. But especially you got Austin Reeves and everything too. You have Schroeder, more confidence with them than I would have been in 2018 with LeBron versus that Warriors team.
Fair enough.
Ebanks, I'm a real Lakers fan. Don't be fooled. And tell us why you think I'm not a real Lakers fan.
But don't tell already, Devin. It's the same reason man tell her. The man say, yo, you have too much teams. You have like 3 to 4 different teams.
I don't have them. It's because I wear a live boss. If I move to Florida, which I'm planning to do sometime,
Stick
my
by
brother
the Lakers.
Mars were there. I'll be done with Knicks. I'll be done with Knicks and thing, but Lakers will still be my team. I'm going to support Miami if I can afford to go to those games. Wait
Yeah,
until
you can. The nosebleeds are like $20, so you can.
yeah, nosebleed. Right. When I was in Jamaica, Maypen, Umberline was the football team. Every Sunday I'm the Umberline team, but I'm from St. Mary. We never have a team in St. Mary.
Still don't have a team.
Still have a team.
But I've heard that all that you guys have said, but still sticking by my prediction. Warriors in 6 are winning that series, and we are going to go to our next NBA finals, and we're going to win the next championship, and Steph is going to be on 5 rings. And that is it. But any final thoughts from you guys before we wrap up?
Well, Greg, you can go.
I just want to say, Devin, thank you for having me, on here. So this was definitely fun to do. It's one thing when you watching like the Skip Baylesses, the Shannon Sharps, the Stephen A. Smiths, and everything like that. So to actually, to be able to do this, and you guys have been great hosts and everything, and I enjoyed like the sports debate and everything like that. But I will say this. With this playoffs, right now, the person that has the most pressure, because I know this wasn't mentioned, and maybe the next time you guys will mention this, the person that has the most pressure on him right now is KD, as we talked about earlier. Because there's no pressure on Steph, because reigning finals MVP, won the chip. No pressure on LeBron, because LeBron, 10 finals, he's on his way out. No pressure on Jimmy, because no one expected that from Jimmy. No expectation on the Knicks. No expectation on
Whoa, Greg. What about James Harden? This guy has been in the
man.
league, been an
Listen,
MVP.
listen. James Harden, if the Sixers lose this series, he's gonna be right back to Houston next year. Especially with Udoka as the next coach, he's gonna be right back to Houston because they don't hire Udoka if they don't think they're gonna get James Harden back next year. But I say the pressure is on KD just because, obviously everyone talking about him not being a leader, him going to the Warriors and everything with no CP3. And I don't hate KD, but this is his moment just to show everybody he's that guy. So I say that to say where the person who I'm mostly looking forward to watching this playoffs and see how they respond is KD, just because he's gotta make a statement. He's gotta make a statement.
All right. Well, Greg, definitely. I can say for me, for sure, it's refreshing that Devin brings someone here who knows a lot more basketball than him.
And him, right? I don't know.
So of course, and I know the host will probably tell you as well, but yeah, definitely you're welcome back here anytime. And if you watch other sports as well, we talk some other sports as well.
Oh yeah, I watch
NFL.
NFL. I watch soccer too. So
Okay. Yes, man. All right. So what I would and I would like to to shift it a little bit. It's not oftentimes I talk about people who die, especially people I don't know like that, right? But I think a box sent it in the group about the Tory boy's death, and again, obviously she live in Florida, so we can see her here, there, somewhere, sometime. But it's not somebody we know like, you don't know some of the Jamaican athletes, but it's someone that you've seen, someone that you've seen, someone that you've probably spoke to one or two times, wonderful personality. Again, I don't know her, like, take up my phone and text her or anything, but just in passing, right? But again, you know, they said that, it's suicide and nothing is really confirmed as yet. And again, I know sometimes I come here and we do the generic stuff, right? We do the generic stuff and we say, yeah, check on your loved ones, right? Check on your loved ones, check on your friends, check on people, this and that, right? But again, as I've always said, are we just saying these things to say it, or are these things that we're really practicing? Right? Again, I don't really have much friends, but people I'm really check for, I reach out to them privately. Sometimes they don't want to tell me. Sometimes let's say I talk to Devin, and Devin, knock on wood, say your house again foreclosed. And you don't want to tell me that. As my old-time teacher, you don't want to tell me them things. Because I remember, you teach me accounts, so if you don't know if you do any little accounting and balance your balance sheet and all them something, then, I hear it, right? However, if you don't want to tell me that or whatever, but sometimes, me just reaching out to you and say, well, Devin, brother, just a check in with you. I am here. Just call me if anything or whatever the case may be. Sometimes it doesn't help at all, and sometimes it helps a whole lot, right? But every time I hear somebody commit suicide, again, I've been through depression, again, and I've said it. I've been through depression. I've been through extensive counseling. I've been through a whole bunch of things where probably if I never have help, probably somebody never reached out, probably somebody never loved me, somebody never cared about me. Probably I couldn't read about me on the news. Hey, well, and then when I say, well, yeah, me used to teach him, good boy, and but again, just try and take the extra step. Just take the extra step. If you see somebody a struggle, call and talk to them, laugh with them, whatever the case may be. It may not do anything at all, and it might do the world. So that's what me have to say.
All right. So my thing is something that we alluded to is just a life that based on what Giannis said the other day at his post match interview, talking about failure. We're not using that word again, because the reporter asked him, I think that went viral. They say it went viral.
Yeah,
It did.
it did.
Yeah. So, bro, can't use the term failure. It's just like you don't achieve certain things because a lot of stuff, failure may be defined by what your expectation is. All right. So you wanted to reach this, but you are halfway here. You didn't get through it yet. Just have that positive mentality. Say, okay, boom. I will not fail. I will not use that term anymore. I am going to use that term anymore. I just don't achieve certain things as yet.
I am going to use it.
Yeah, you can use it, but the fail
You
thing,
know why? Let me
you know,
ask you this question. Let me ask you this question.
go ahead.
Based on the team that Real Madrid has this season, would you consider them a failure based on where they are in the league?
If I would, the thing is,
No, bro. Close-ended question.
hold up. Understand the perspective in which he was using it. He was talking about it from an individual standpoint. Because they asked him, and then he put it back to report and said, okay, when you go to work and what? Oh, that's my boy. When you go to work and you don't get a promotion or you get a promotion, whatever, it's more like an individual thing. So
All right.
to make a comparison to Real Madrid overall, that's really not the same parallel.
All right. I'm asking. I'm phrasing but different now. So Real Madrid has a player. His name is Eden Hazard. He made a $100 million move. Has failed to live up to expectations. Has he been a failure or not? For the amount of investment that was made in him.
Injuries caused him not to be where they anticipated him to be. That's how I see it now. Before hearing Giannis, I probably have said, yo, he's a scrub, he failed.
All right. Say
Yeah.
less. Jadon Sancho. Manchester United invested $73 million into him.
No matter what you say, I'm going to counter by saying I'm not going to use fail. Just like I teach right now, and the students do state tests yesterday and today, national state tests. If they don't meet it, I say, okay, they did not meet the requirements. They didn't fail.
Yeah, I mean,
Why are we trying to remove the? Remember that failure is a word in it. So why are we trying to move
There's a
out
thing
from the
about
word
positive
itself?
mindset and a
I
positive
think
growth.
we're living in a generation that we're trying to move away from accepting what is.
I guess.
I mean,
That's I can't fight you on your take. I'm just saying that's it. I know that's how I see it.
no. So I disagree, right? So I disagree when you say we're living. There's a lot of things that's happening in this generation, but I totally disagree when we say we're moving from
Yeah.
accepting what is, right? And again, it all depends on, and I think failure or failing is always a subjective matter, right? And again, I said I go out every single day, and my goal is I want to be a millionaire, right? I want to be a millionaire. I want to have a lot of money. I want to have a lot of assets. That's my goal, right? So let's say if tomorrow I'm not a millionaire, am I a failure? No, I don't think I'm a failure. I think that I am doing everything in my power to lead my way onto the same path that I want to have a lot of assets, to be a millionaire and stuff. So no, when you talk about the football context, there are 19, 20, there are 20 teams in the Premier League, right? Obviously, every team or most teams set out for winning. Everybody have their own individual goals. So let's say Liverpool, Man City, Manchester United. Let's just use those three teams. And those three teams say, well, our goal, the goal objectives is we're going to win the Premier League, right? And again, let's say only one team can win. So let's say Man City win the league. Do I think Manchester United is a failure? No, because I can't look at it that way. Guess why? Because again, let us say in that process now of that, then now Marcus Rashford have now become a superstar player, get a great form. Now this coach has discovered another player. So I think there is so much aspects to it for me to just generalize failing. What I think is that in our society now, we are so quick to provide a lot of negative connotation to individuals where we love to say, okay, you know what, Levon never do this, Levon fail. Oh, Cohen could even make $20 yesterday, Cohen fail. oh boy, Kemar, you don't see you could even get 65 on the test, you fail. But I think instead of looking at what it is and what it can be, that is how I look at it. So failing is, as Cohen said, is not a word that me personally I will use to describe me or none of my brethren them or anything that surrounds me personally. That's understand. Anybody else who want to use it? That's all on them. Thank you, Yanis. You give me a different perspective on life.
Real.
There's absolutely no perspective. It's just because you're in this woke generation why you have that perspective.
Not at all, because I
Bro,
don't think.
what I'll say is that you're trying to divert from it, but it's just the facts of life. I've seen it on a daily basis. You provide the truth to people and they're telling that it's a lie. Is that they
No.
want you to tell a lie just to soothe their ego. It's
Boss,
just the
but
fact of nature, boss. I'm
no,
sorry,
boss.
but hold
But
on.
what I'm saying, no,
I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. If you
no,
feel it, just feel
Levon.
it. You just a
No,
failure.
Levon, but you
All right,
can't say that, right?
bro.
And this is why you can't say
Listen.
it.
Listen, hold on. I'm gonna use me as an example.
Okay,
In high school,
okay.
you have one aim and it's to pass all the subjects that they do and whatever not.
Mm-hmm.
Me end up get a 4 in one of the subject me do. Me
Uh-huh.
consider myself in that subject as a failure. Why? One, know some could have do better. Two,
Okay.
I never really have the mindset to really do the subject itself.
Mm-hmm.
Me end up fail it. Of course I was a failure in that subject.
Well, again, Levon, again, that is what you want to use to describe yourself. But for me, again, I can share something, right? CXC gone a long time, right? So I can talk about it. I really like to talk about myself or whatever. So like, look at it, right? So I have 10 CXC subjects, right? I have two trees. I have a tree in a maths and a tree in a human and social bio, right? But the maths in a fourth form, four. I'm gonna say, all right then, bam. I'll go back again. I'm gonna do maths in a fifth form, January, four again. I'm gonna do maths now in a regular fifth form when everybody at the CXC. Bam, I get a three. My mother said, no man, you have to do better than three. All right, so I'm gonna go back again and do maths one more time. I'm gonna get another three. During all that time, like I've never looked at myself as a failure because every single time, again, you know, you get a little profile in your CXC so that I look and then say, okay, then you get a C and a D pro, C in a this understanding, whatever, and D in a this, but then another four, no, it's another C and then a C again. So again, it's little steps I'm taking to achieve a greater goal. So I'm gonna look upon it as failing for me personally. But again, if a next man want to look upon it that way, like I can't, like I'm not gonna knock you, I'm not gonna fight you if you want to say you're a failure. I can't fight you for that. But for me, I am not. But
Well,
hey, one
I
thing
should,
before you runway. One thing before the runway. Greg, listen to this as well. So they
Okay.
interviewed Jordan Poole, and they say, "Hey, Jordan Poole, how do you feel that everybody's talking about that shot that you missed?" So Jordan Poole say, "Hey, you could only do so much." I'm just paraphrasing. You could only do so much when you play 15 minutes. I think I should be out there playing a lot more basketball. So just throwing some shade on Steve Kerr right there. Give the man some more minutes, Levon. 15 minutes is
yeah,
not good
man,
enough for him
he
to take
deserve
that
it,
big
man.
shot.
You see the minutes them we say man that Moses Moody and them man there get. Jordan Poole means them the brother.
He can't play defense. If he can't play defense, he's
That's a
not gonna
bad thing.
play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very true. Bro. That's very, very true.
Yep. But Greg, it was a pleasure having you here, man. Great insights. And obviously, as Kim stated, way more basketball knowledge than the man who I call the all rounder. But
The
respect, man.
accent of Pulu, no, man. Yeah, with the fault for the accent.
You're always welcome to come back here, Greg, at any point in time.
All
As
right.
I mentioned, you watch soccer, NFL, we have all those sort of discussions. So you're welcome back anytime, man. Devin, big up yourself as always, man.
A word, man.
You know it go already. And of course, the voice himself, big up to yourself, man. To the
Man,
people
man,
in the
man.
comment section, also I want to do this. Without you guys, we don't have any show. And I know that it has been a while, but we're going to be back here this Friday. So this Friday we shall be talking about EPL because the elephant has fallen off the tree. So of course we have to talk about that. And the relegation battle is interesting. So until Friday, enjoy the rest of your night. Peace out. Bless.
Man.
All right. Have a good night, fellas.